Success doesn't happen by accident. It's not magic, and it's not luck. It's structure, discipline, and repeated action over time. Successful people have habits, common, mundane, sometimes boring habits, but the reason they work is because they are performed consistently. One of the deepest truths about life is that meaning is found in routine. That doesn't mean monotony, it means mastery. When you do something every day, you embed it into the fabric of your identity. You become what you repeat. Consistency creates reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust establishes reputation. And reputation, once solidified, opens doors to opportunity. But consistency is hard, because it demands self-regulation. That's where most people fail. They mistake motivation for discipline. Motivation fades. Discipline endures. Successful people aren't always inspired, but they show up anyway. And they don't rely on chaos. They create order. That's the key. In a disordered world, they anchor themselves through structured routines, knowing that order breeds competence. And competence, that's power. Because when you become competent at something, when you do it so often it becomes automatic, you free your mind to elevate. You can think higher, solve deeper problems, grow. That's the function of consistency, not just repetition for repetition's sake, but to refine yourself into something formidable. We're biologically tuned to patterns. When you wake up at the same time, your body adapts. When you eat consistently, you regulate energy. When you train your mind to focus, even if only for short periods, your brain builds endurance. And yet, most people reject the structure that consistency demands. Why? Because it's painful. It confronts you with your limits. But those who embrace the pain of discipline gain a reward far beyond the temporary comfort of avoidance. If you want to transform your life, start by transforming 1 hour of your day. Just one. Show up to that hour with full intention, no distractions, no shortcuts. Over weeks, that hour becomes a foundation. Then 2 hours. Then an entire lifestyle built around consistent action. That's how high performers live. They don't wonder what to do next, they know. Because they've already decided, long before the moment arrives. The common habits among successful people are not secret. Wake early. Read daily. Plan your day. Exercise regularly. Reflect often. It's not complex, but it is uncommon. Why? Because it's difficult to do these things every day when there's no immediate reward. The human brain craves dopamine, and success habits often delay gratification. So you must train yourself to push through the delay. To trust the process. To keep acting even when the payoff isn't obvious. Think of it like compound interest. Every consistent habit adds value, even if imperceptibly at first. Read 10 pages a day, it doesn't seem like much. But in a year, that's 15 to 20 books. How much wisdom could you gain from that alone? Do 20 minutes of focused work per hour. That's 160 focused minutes in an 8-hour day, far more than the average person achieves. And if you plan your week every Sunday evening, how much more control do you have than the person drifting aimlessly into Monday? Consistency compounds. And the beauty is, it works in reverse too. Inconsistency compounds failure. Miss 1 day. That's okay. Miss 3. Now it's a pattern. Skip a workout. No problem. Skip a week. Now it's a habit. And habits build identity. Identity drives behavior. So the direction you're moving in, whether intentional or not, is shaping who you are becoming. That's why consistency isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are. So when successful people seem disciplined, what you're really seeing is identity expressed through consistent behavior. They're not trying to be someone, they already are. That's the level you must reach. And the path there is daily repetition, deliberate improvement, and an unshakable commitment to long-term results. Successful people are not extraordinary because of talent alone. They're extraordinary because of relentless consistency. The truth is, most people underestimate the power of doing small things consistently well over time. It's not about bursts of brilliance, it's about dependable, daily practice. Habits define your trajectory. They are systems that either elevate you or destroy you. And consistency is the mechanism that keeps the system alive. Success isn't found in chaos. It's found in routine. Even the creative mind needs structure to thrive. Without consistency, there's no progress, only motion. You can be busy without being productive. Consistent habits are the difference. They create stability. Stability breeds clarity. And clarity enables purposeful action. Successful people don't guess their way through life. They architect it, one habit at a time. They wake up early, not just to appear disciplined, but because the early hours are quiet, controlled, and free from distractions. They journal, not to be poetic, but to track their minds. They read, not just to gather information, but to train their ability to think. And they execute, even when tired, even when uninspired. That's the standard they hold. Not because it feels good, but because it's who they are. Consistency requires personal accountability. That's uncomfortable. Because when you fail to show up, you have no one to blame. But that's also liberating. It puts the power in your hands. When you develop the habit of showing up, you start trusting yourself. That self-trust becomes confidence. And confidence is magnetic. It opens doors, it influences people, and it gives you the strength to face hard things. Successful people build micro-disciplines that compound. One push-up. One idea written down. One cold shower. One uncomfortable conversation. These small acts of courage, done daily, forge resilience. And resilience is non-negotiable if you want to succeed. Life will resist you. Chaos will intrude. Failure will visit. But consistency is your armor. It makes you sturdy. It's not that successful people don't fail. They just keep showing up afterward. You see, success is not the summit. It's the staircase. Each habit is a step. And you must take the same steps repeatedly, even when no one is watching. Especially then. Because in those quiet, unseen moments, your character is being shaped. The person who stays consistent in silence is the one who earns recognition in the spotlight. It's cause and effect. There's a kind of dignity in repetition. Not everyone understands it. But those who do, know it leads to excellence. You sweep the floor again. You write the sentence again. You deliver the presentation again. And you do it all with care. Not because someone is grading you, but because you won't allow yourself to lower your standard. That internal code, that's what successful people have. And it's built by the discipline of daily habit. Even something as basic as making your bed, it seems trivial. But it signals to your brain that the day has started. It invites order into your environment. When you stack enough of these signals, they form a framework that holds you up when your motivation collapses. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs wait to feel good. Professionals act regardless of how they feel. If you want to win, track your habits. Measure your time. Observe your distractions. Be honest about your excuses. Consistency isn't glamorous, it's gritty. But over time, it creates undeniable results. It's not an overnight process. It's slow. Sometimes painfully slow. But it's real. And it lasts. So when you see someone with mastery, remember this: they didn't get lucky. They got consistent. And that's available to you, too. You just need to decide. Are you willing to do what's required, even when it's boring, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one claps? That's where greatness begins.